Good evening. I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. On Friday morning, Nebraska basketball held a press conference featuring Fred Hoiberg and Keisei Tominaga in light of his return for the 2023 season. Tominaga briefly spoke on what factors helped him guide him back to Lincoln.
So I was thinking what's the best what's the how can I say what's the place to be I can get improve most, and this is a place I can get improve a lot. So that's the most reason I think I decided to come back here.
Coming up later on the show, we'll hear more from Coach Hoiberg as he spoke more about Keisei, the roster in general, and what's ahead for the Huskers this summer. After great anticipation, the university announced that country singer Scotty Mercurio will be the artist to perform at the August 30th Volleyball Day in Nebraska event in Memorial Stadium. This morning, it was announced that former Husker head coach Frank Solich has earned a spot on the 2024 ballot for induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Over the span of 22 seasons as head coach for the Cornhuskers, Coach Solich held a record of 173 to 101, including a 58-19 record for a 6-year span between 1998 and 2003. This will be the second consecutive year for Coach Solich to receive a spot on the Hall of Fame ballot. The Women's College World Series moves forward today with only a few teams remaining. Number 1 Oklahoma were able to outlast 9th-ranked Stanford 4-2 in 9 innings, which advances the Sooners to the championship series on June 7th. They will await the winner between 3-seed Florida State and 4-seed Tennessee, which is just getting underway. If Tennessee wins that game, the two will face off again at 8:30 p.m. tonight. The NCAA Regionals for baseball wraps up today. 13 teams have already punched a ticket to the Super Regionals, with 3 to be determined very soon. Currently in action, 10th-ranked Coastal Carolina trails Duke 1-0 in the third. 12th-ranked Kentucky and Indiana are knotted at 2 in the third. And later tonight, 8th-ranked Stanford will battle Texas A&M at 8 p.m. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for a full 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit. Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon step throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer.
Go,
to
baby.
The 35, to the 30. Rook tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, the Huskers are moving into the dorms. How about that little bit of news that Husker Online broke this afternoon? Matt Rural and the staff are down in Texas putting on satellite camps, and Husker Online was down there covering it, interviewed the coach after the workout today, and he says he's moving the entire 110-man fall camp roster into the dorms on the main campus. He goes, we're going to be together for the first 2 to 2.5 weeks. How about that? That's old school right there.
And it's what they do in the NFL.
They do.
You know, and so they do that throughout training camp, and it's all because that's one of the times of the year that it is all about the sport that you're playing.
Stay away from your families.
You've got stuff going on all day. I mean, you come in, you might have a walkthrough, then you have meetings, you have film, you have practice, you have meals together. I mean, it is just all day during training camp. And so that kind of helps with the process of, hey, we're going to all be here in this together, and it's all in on football for 2 weeks.
I like it.
Yeah.
They're not in school at that point in time, so they'll be, I'm sure there's ping pong tables in the dorms and stuff like that guys can play until lights out time. And
well, I wonder if any of the fancy new toys in the new facility will be available by then.
Maybe.
Because I know they're getting really quickly to being close to being ready to start moving people into that thing. And I know by fall camp, that was the goal, to be able to utilize it during fall camp. But that's also, again, I mean, if you're a athlete that is thinking about maybe the NFL, this is what it does, right?
Exactly
I mean, this is what happens when you get to the next level. And I think a lot of that implementation is a lot of reasons why some of these young players are interested in coming to play for this coaching staff is because they're doing a lot of the things like they've done in the NFL. And if that's where you want to play, you're kind of getting a feel for what that system and what that rhythm and all of that feels like, culture, all of the above.
Well, kudos to Husker Online for breaking the story. That's great. I think it's a really cool thing, and you can go read more on their websites there, but good job by them, and they're down there. This staff does not stop, Jessica. I don't know when they sleep. It's really, here we are, early June, and it's really busy. Time for Husker football. Today began the summer workouts for the current team. They're all moved in, ready to roll, get going. They had camps over the weekend. They had 9 official visitors in over the weekend to check out Husker football. Then the staff flew down to Texas. They put on a camp earlier today in the Waco area. I think it was at a Division III school that they held their camp this morning. They're doing a coaches clinic tonight in Houston. They've got another camp tomorrow. I mean, I'm exhausted just laying all that out, but they are really, really busy.
Well, you heard in my interview last week with Dr. Brett Haskell and Coach Rule, he said, no, I have to be told that I have to sleep. And he has to be, hey, you got to do that. You got to manage yourself in this certain way that a lot of times he does get going too much. And he has to remind himself that, hey, I got to stop. But yes, it appears that this staff does not sleep, that they've constantly got things going on. But I think a big key of why they are able to manage so much is because they are so familiar with each other. They've got a lot of guys that they've kind of have the system going. They know what each other are doing. A lot of times they don't have to talk about it. They just kind of all know. And he's got a big staff, too, that a lot of them are managing certain things. And I think he trusts a lot of guys. You know, there are sometimes you get head coaches that are a little bit of a micromanager. And while he is fully aware of everything that's going on, I think he's very good at delegating certain things to guys and people on his staff.
And Susan
Elson. Well, and ladies and that have that he trusts to be able to get some of those things done. And camps are a big part of what this staff wants to do. I mean, that was one of the first things that he had talked about when he was hired in his opening day press conference. I mean, camps were brought up, and camps have been something that they have talked about a lot. And I love when they tweet out about, hey, come to camp. There's no invite needed in some of these camps. I mean, if you want to come be a part of it, and maybe that's how they're open to discovering all kinds of talent that maybe nobody's talking about. Just because you're not a 5-star in a certain system, that doesn't mean that this staff won't recruit you if they see something that they believe in.
So busy times. The current team, as I mentioned, sort of workouts. They're Coach Campbell's responsibility for a while now. He's going to put them through the rigors of summer conditioning to get through that. And then when the assistants are in town, they do have some time with the team. They can't use a football. Dumbest thing ever. They can't use a football, but they can kind of be around the guys a little bit. But that's a whole other topic.
I know. We've gone down that road before.
Don't get me started on that.
That's one of the things at the top of our list that need to change.
So, but yeah, announced today that they're going to move in for the start of fall camp over to Selleck Dorm, which is just steps away from the Union over there in the center part of campus. A lot of you who went to school here or have students here right now would know exactly where that's going to be. So
I wonder how they're going to assign roommates.
Yep.
And I'll bet the first week they're all excited about it, and by the end of the second week they're like, "Get me out of here!
Get me back to my own house, my own apartment, my own whatever it is." And for some guys, some of the players who are like true freshmen, they'll be at other dorms. They'll be a different dorm is where they'll be housed during the normal year.
But I always think that's always to me one of the more enjoyable parts of the Hard Knocks series. When you see them at the training table or they're working out. I mean, like a lot of the funny, entertaining scenes happen away from the field.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of camaraderie that's built there. And hey, they know they can check on you. It's all in on football. And then again, just going back to what that conversation was last week about the mental health. I mean, you've got all that staff. They're all embedded together. And so you're ensuring that they're doing everything that they have to take care of, not just the football part of it, but they're eating right, they're sleeping right. All of the things that go into that they're able to manage and really keep a close eye on, too.
Oh, and by the way, the entire coaching staff's going to be staying at the dorms, too.
Oh, yeah. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. And that's another thing that they always talk about with Coach Rule. He doesn't ask anything of the players that the coaches, he doesn't ask of the coaches and his staff. And everybody is kind of doing the same thing. They're all bought in the same way. And so I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Fantastic.
Who would you most like to be roommates with on the coaching staff?
Wow. That's an interesting question.
And who would you least like?
I think Ed Foley would be a fun roomie.
Yes, I think he'd probably be a favorite of a lot of people.
I think that would be. We'd have a good time. I think Ed would be a hoot to be with. Who wouldn't I want to be with? Oh, come on! I'm not gonna out somebody there. I'm not gonna go down there. That's like Cole not doing weekend losers or he doesn't. I'm not going down that road.
I probably would not want to be with somebody like. I mean, no offense to him, but someone like Coach Cooper, who's up watching film all the time.
Night. Would you shut that computer off?
Yeah, like, hey, I need some. I'd have to sleep with a mask on or something. But like, no, I mean, Dr. Elza would be awesome. She's a hoop.
She'd be great. No commitments out of this first weekend. Again, I think it's not this coming weekend, but the following weekend's a really, really big one with a lot of 4-stars coming to town to see the Huskers. I think there'll be some movement. I think there's going to be maybe even movement later this week on getting some commits. Maybe somebody that's currently has a brother on the team that may be committing to the Huskers. So we'll keep an eye on that as we make our way through the week. I said this last week in your absence. Welcome back, by the way. Good to have you back here in town.
I feel like I haven't been here forever because we had the baseball tournament.
Yeah.
And you were gone on Tuesday of that week, right? And so, or Wednesday. It's been all weird.
Been a little
And
wild
that Monday that week we had Trav on.
We did have Trav.
So it's been like 3 weeks for me since it was normal.
I said this last week as it related to the NCAA softball tournament that it was really chalky, and it's kind of continued that way. Oklahoma punched their ticket for the finals earlier today, and they're going to face either the 3 or the 4 seed. Softball was very chalky all the way through the tournament, and I said I don't think baseball will be the same way, and boy, it has not. A lot of big upsets in the NCAA tournament. For baseball, you've lost. Vanderbilt's out. Arkansas is out. I think 3 of the top 8 national seeds have lost. Coastal Carolina's losing right now to Duke 4-0. One Big Ten team still alive. That's Indiana. They're tied with Kentucky 2-2 in the 4th. I'm rooting for the Hoosiers. I know Jessica has she likes those SEC schools, so she's probably pulling
huge fan
for Kentucky. But 2-2. I want the Hoosiers to move into the Super Regional. I think that'd be great if they could do that. But,
yeah, I mean, always fun to root for the conference. Not that I would be chanting Big Ten in the stands like, some certain conference teams do, The SEC does that.
People in Omaha are very disappointed that the Vanderbilt Whistler will not be back this year. Have you ever heard that guy? He is so annoying. Just whistles so loud. Picks up on TV and people that sit around him. So Vanderbilt's out. Arkansas is out. So a lot of the big names have gotten bounced from the tournament.
I like some of the chants that go along with it. I was kind of getting in on that. I can't remember.
The Horned Frogs are still alive. They beat Arkansas today. Is that what they do? Kind of a claw thing that they do?
While I was down there, one of the big storylines was Oklahoma State.
Man, they did not play well at all.
Yeah.
Oral Roberts gets out of that region as a 4 seed. So there we are. There's some goofy stuff in the chat room. I don't have time in the opening segment to get into that. It's replaying some things that happened last week.
I was asking about Pop-Tart.
I know.
It's s'mores.
Yeah,
s'mores is my favorite Pop-Tart. I don't know why I'm answering that question, but I'll just answer it.
We got off track. Imagine that. I got off track last week with you're not here to keep me kind of the straight and narrow. I got way off track.
Pop-Tarts. I can't wait to hear that story.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. All right, really good news late last week. We did have it for you last week on Wednesday night show that Keisei is going to stay. He and Coach Hoiberg held a press conference on Friday. We're going to play you some of the highlights. I know Cole had the clip from Keisei in the Open. That's huge news. And I don't know that there's a more popular athlete on campus right now than Keisei Tominaga.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely make a case. I mean, and not just even globally. You talk about a global, how big of a star he is in Japan. Everything that's tweeted about him is like blown up. Like he has got such a huge following. I'm not surprised. I mean, I felt like he was coming back all along. I just think he wanted to explore. And that's what's great about the way that NCAA college basketball goes is you can enter your name into the draft, go do some workouts, maybe see where your game stacks up and what are some of the things you can talk to some guys that are embedded with some teams. What do I need to work on? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to show you in this last season of playing college basketball? But huge news. And I also felt like if the coaching staff felt like he wasn't coming back, they would have targeted an elite shooter. Agreed. Not saying that there's guys that don't shoot it well that they brought in, but that's not their game. They're not high volume 3-point shooters, whereas he is definitely that weapon. And while he has other aspects to his game, he's a 3-point he's a dagger out there that you can count on to knock things up, and you better pick him up at half court or he's going to pull it from half court and it's probably going to go in. So that kind of weapon specifically that you can rely on to knock things down from the outside, I just felt like they would have targeted that if he was not coming back. But big news, they got a lot of great pieces. I'm excited about this basketball team. They did really, really well with the additions that they brought in.
I think they learned so much last year on how to kind of put together the kind of guys that they want to have on a team and what they want to be. And I've had some people tell me this, and I had Jake on last Thursday, and I said, I've had so many people say that they felt like last year in a lot of ways was Coach Hoiberg's first year.
Yeah.
And he kind of got past the Abdel Massi, let's just let him go get everybody, and they became a staff, and they found a bit of an identity. So this is kind of year 2, and I feel like they've built on that, and I love the staff. I really think Coach Hoiberg's got the magic sauce put together with that staff.
I do too. I mean, just a phenomenal staff, a staff that a lot of coaches would love to have as a part of their coaching staff. A lot of guys that probably could be head coaches too.
And Ernie has.
Yes. Well, and I just think they've got a lot of talented guys on that staff that all work so well together, and they mesh really well. They've got the chemistry going. They are great recruiters. All of them are great recruiters, which was a little bit different, being that the whole staff didn't recruit before, and so having the whole staff out recruiting. And you just have to think, like, it was so different, the time, it changed so much from when Coach Hoiberg went to the NBA. There's a lot of things that changed. And so I think, and then the COVID happened, and he just was dealt with some injuries, and yeah, I agree. I mean, and I think you saw, he's a fabulous coach. He's unbelievable. I mean, I saw that firsthand watching him at Iowa State when I was at Oklahoma. He's a guy that, and just hearing some of the players talk about how much they learned. Sam Griesel just goes on and on about how much he learned about the game of basketball and offensively, and how much his mind was blown sitting there talking to Coach Hoiberg, or what he draws up in certain situations and the timeouts. I mean, so he's a fantastic coach. He's just kind of got a rhythm going and figured it out. I think it was probably an adjustment going from the NBA back to college, and I can't wait to see what this team does this year. I'm excited about this team.
It's going to be fun. We're going to hear some clips from the coach coming up here in just a little bit. And we want to hear from you throughout the program tonight, 402-413-2400. You can call or fire off a text. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations, or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with some clips from the head coach next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. University of Nebraska leadership has launched a $3 billion fundraising campaign to support education access for Nebraska students. The Only in Nebraska campaign, the largest in university history, will focus on creating scholarships to make education more affordable, attracting more Nebraska students, and keeping young people in the state after graduation.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. That's why we make trucks like Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight, and counting. Made for performance and capability, made to play hard and work smart, on and off-road. That's because they're built Ford tough. So be future ready with Ford F-Series, based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for $4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for $4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Husker fans, mark your calendar for Sunday morning, July 16th to join the Nebraska football team in the Race for a Cure Against Pediatric Brain Cancer. It's the 11th annual Nebraska Football Road Race. This year, all runners start and finish on Tom Osborne Field in Memorial Stadium. The final 69 yards will recreate the iconic 2013 ESPY Play of the Year when brain cancer patient Jack Hoffman scored a touchdown in the spring game. To register, go to huskers.com/road race. Sponsored by the Home Agency with support from the Lincoln Track Club.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They're the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. The team is back together. Cole's running the ship for us. And we're going to hear from Fred Hoiberg. He met with the media on Friday. We had a best of show on Friday, so it's our first chance to let you hear some of what he had to say. He did a presser with Keisei, who actually is, I think, already maybe back to Japan. He was leaving to go back to work out and try to make one of their national teams for the summer. And so they wanted to have Keisei at least meet the press before he took off. So here's the coach kind of with an opening statement about the state of the program and the great news of getting Keisei Tominaga back for his senior year.
I want to start this off by just saying how excited all of us are to get Keisei back for one more year. Obviously, the impact that he had on our team, really, when you look at from February 1st on, the type of year or finish to the season that he had, and really helped us to the best stretch that we had all season with having the best record in the Big Ten from February 1st on. And a lot of that was due to Keisei and his overall play and just the overall impact that I think he had on our team, on our fans, the electricity in our building, was just a lot of the things that Keisei was doing on the court. And, was really proud of our guys with how they stayed together through all sorts of adversity last season and finished off playing our best basketball, which gave us, I think, some good momentum heading into the offseason, where we've added some really good players to our roster, have filled some holes with what left our roster with three great players that had a tremendous impact on our program with Sam Griesel, Derek Walker, and Emmanuel Bandamel. We feel really good about the additions to our team. But one of the biggest moves for us this offseason was to get Keisei back. Our biggest needs for us was to get Keisei back in a Husker uniform. So we could not be more excited about that. Just a couple things about Keisei's finish. After February 1, he was third in the league in scoring behind National Player of the Year Zach Edey and Trace Jackson Davis. He was second in the Big Ten in two-point field goal percentage, which is remarkable, for somebody of Keisei's size to be able to finish. And it just shows, people talk about Keisei being a great shooter. What makes him special and what makes him elite is his movement and his cutting. And I think it shows from the numbers that he put up. And then one of two Power 5 players to shoot 50% overall from the field, over 40 from the three, and over 85 from the line, which we need to get that up to 90 next year, Keisei. But, really impressive the way that Keisei finished off the season, and excited about his opportunity with this national team, which is coming up. He will leave on Monday to start that process, and being able to play in the World Cup on his home soil in Okinawa, right, Keisei? Mm-hmm. In Okinawa. So great opportunity for Keisei to represent his home country, and we're thrilled to have him back in a Husker uniform.
Oh, I love that. Always gigging him. You got to be a 90% free throw shooter. You can't be 85. You got to be 90.
I mean, it does seem a little low for someone that shoots the ball as well as Keisei does. You would expect him to be in the 90s. Most elite three-point shooters like that shoot that high of a percentage from so deep, you would think the free throw would be automatic. 85 is a little low for a shoot. I'm with Coach Hoiberg on that.
Man, you guys set the bar high. Holy cow. 85 to me, that was a great paper in school. Take it, let's go.
I think Keisei would be the first to agree he has to be better.
Yeah, probably right. All right, the fans' reaction to when they heard the news last Wednesday night was really fun to follow. Awesome. Here's the coach talking about the fan base's reaction.
Well, I think you see the impact of Keisei when he sends out a tweet, and he had about 3.5 million views on it within the first couple hours. And, I asked Keisei how to say LFG in Japanese, and he sent me a little thing. And I don't know if it was exact or not, Keisei, but
it's not exactly.
Not exactly, but yeah, as close as we can get. And yeah, just to see that. But yeah, I think you see it, the impact, the excitement of our fan base when he did announce that he's coming back. And, he's just, the thing I love about this kid is just, the joy he plays this game with and the fun that he has. And, he flipped off a crowd on the road this year. Love that, so he's just so infectious. And, it's what this game's all about when you have a guy out there playing with the type of joy that he plays with every time he steps on the floor. And it's not just games. I mean, you see him in a one-on-one session. You see him, and I talked to the Pacers guys. I'm very close with their guys in their front office, and they said he did great. And, you saw him ring the bell. What'd you make, 22 out of 25, 21?
20 out of 25, I think, yeah.
We can lie and exaggerate it up, Keisei. But, yeah, but they said he competed against bigger, stronger guys and didn't back down at all. And again, it's fun when you see a guy that puts as much work as Keisei in, and to see it pay off and the benefits that it's going to have for Keisei long-term in his career.
Coach Hoiberg was on a roll in that press conference. He had a bunch of one-liners. But I think right there you can see why guys like playing with him so much. And he loves Keisei, and Keisei loves playing for him. And that's the perfect kind of offense for a guy like Keisei Tominaga. But think how much his game has grown, since he stepped on campus. And he's right. I mean, when I was in Oklahoma when the announcement came, and it was trending on my Twitter. His name was trending on my Twitter, and everything that is posted about Keisei, I've talked to the digital guys about that. I mean, he gets so much interest from Japan because he is a superstar over there. And a lot of that is he went and played for the 3-on-3 team when he was the youngest competitor, right, at the last Olympics. And then he's got a chance to play for him coming up, and playing for the World Cup and all of that. Like he just is already so well known in his country there, and he's becoming such a superstar here. I also asked Coach Hoiberg this on one of the TV shows I filled in for you. Have you ever coached a player that has such an ability to make an opposing crowd so angry and ignite a home crowd, because I don't know if I've ever covered a player like that is just can silence a crowd but then ignite a crowd on, I mean, just the opposite ends of the spectrum.
I love the joy that he plays with. You know how big a fan I was of Derek Walker. I think Derek was a huge part of Keisei because of his ability to pass. Don't know if we have that. I hope we do. But I hope like Rink Mass can be that guy from the high post or whatever. But those two had some magic going on. Derek knew exactly when he was going to back cut and gave him great feeds.
Well, in the way that teams had to guard them, they were just such an asset to each other's game. So you hope that, and I think that there are guys that are going to be on the floor, because I think at times, and you and I have talked about this, Emmanuel Bandamel came in and was expected to score more. He didn't. Probably a lot of it was because of the load he had to take on the defensive end. But you know, I think at times maybe they're just the way that teams had to you had to build your defenses around Derek Walker and Keisei Tominaga. And so you would think that one of these guys that are coming in, I think they're pretty versatile, that you can't throw junk defenses at Keisei and be able to just let other guys score on you. I think that they've put together a good offensive group that will not, because that is such a big part of it, is avoiding teams being able to take Keisei completely out of it.
Right. One little concern I have is that he's going to be gone for the next three months or so and not building chemistry with the current roster. That's not ideal. I get it why he's doing it. I fully support him going over there and trying to play for his national team. But not having time in the gym with our guys right now, developing some of that, that's just...
I think he'll be able to fit right back in. And he missed a lot of the chunk of the summer before when he first got here because of that very fact, too. He got here really last minute, too. But, you know, I think he got a good feel for it last year. There's still some guys like Sam Hoiberg who's played with him a lot, CJ Wilcher. There's still a good group of core guys coming back that have played a lot with CJ, or that with Keisei, that will be able to get a feel and be able to get him acclimated right in with some of the other new guys.
Speaking of the rest of that roster, here's the coach kind of expounding on the parts that they have added.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel very good about our roster with getting the guys back that had a big impact, especially once we had the injuries. That experience that our guys gained in that area in roles that maybe increased as the season went on. With Jamarcus, with Sam, CJ, I thought finished the season playing his best basketball. You look at, adding the types of players that we did, getting experience in our point guard position with Ulis. Bryce Williams, to me, was a huge pickup for us because versatility. He finished off last season playing incredibly well. And, won one of the postseason tournaments where he was the MVP, guy that shot over 40% last year at over 6'7". Eli Rice has come in. He's measured almost 6'8", and, a kid that I think has a very bright future. Freshmen obviously have a big learning curve, but the fact that we have these 2 months leading into the Spain trip and then get some valuable experience over there. Ramel, coming off his redshirt season, he's made big gains in the weight room over the summer. And then the other additions with Rink, with Josiah, those were huge for us because of how we play, and I think the skill level and the unique skill set that those guys bring to the table as well. So, yeah, just, really think this is a group that has versatility. We're going to get Juwan Gary back. He's almost full strength now. He's going to do things on the floor starting on Monday, not full. He will not be cleared for contact for probably another at least month, but he's doing pretty much everything. And, again, I talked about this, I think, a little bit. I don't remember when it was because I'm losing my mind, but, he was able to do a lot of one-hand shooting and really address some of the things to hopefully make him a more consistent shooter. He had some really good games for us out there, but, I think when you look at what he was able to work on because he couldn't use his left arm, it will hopefully fix a little bit of the balance issue that he's had, since he started his college career. And then Blaze, an update on Blaze with his ankle injury. He will be able to start doing some light work on the floor, no jumping yet, but he'll be able to do some spot shooting, and then hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks he will be cleared for full activity as well. So we should have him for at least a limited role once we get to Spain. It's everything's coming together, and again, I think we've got different lineups that we can put out on the floor. We can play small, we can play big, and it's been a good offseason for us.
I think that's, to me, what is most exciting about, think about how deep this team is, and not just deep in like you can put running guys off the bench, but you can literally throw so many different lineups and different looks at guys and how they want to play. If they want to go a defensive, which at times they had to do last year with the defensive lineup. So, and thinking about that too, seeing what this team was able to do throughout when they went on the run in February without Blaze Keita, and if Derek Walker got in foul trouble, think about how big of a help that a healthy Blaze would have been to the run last year, because there were times that he showed some really good flashes. And so having somebody that could have come in and provide that spark off the bench for Derek Walker, and he was coming along so well when he was having to play so many minutes. So I can't wait to see what kind of jump he makes this year when he's finally healthy.
Yeah, I've told people for weeks, it's okay to get pretty excited about that team right now. There's a lot of good parts to that group, and what they did in February and March was impressive. I think they can build off that.
I do too. Really I absolutely do.
And huge news with Keisei coming back. I'm with you. Thought all along that he was going to, but until you hear those words, my bigger concern really wasn't the NBA, Jessica. It was more of him going home and playing pro ball in Japan. Except
I think that season had already started. I think we had got to a point where it was too late.
Too late.
I was concerned about the Olympics, him playing with the national team, because
and that's why he's going back this summer to try to get.
So and that was a conversation that was had with Jazz Shelley, and if you want to, with it being an Olympic year, a year from now, is some of these players, sometimes their countries want them to be around and be playing with their national team for an entire year, and so that to me was a little bit more concerning, is him making that national team, but. I think if he does a good enough job, if he does what he did in college basketball again, I don't think he'll have a problem making that team again.
Good to hear from the coach. There you go. That's the update. I know that was on Friday, but we didn't have our Friday show because of the best of, so we thought we'd get to that here tonight. All right, phone lines, we're going to open those up for you if you want to be a part of the program. 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands, a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. More of the show coming up next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm sports media student Connor Clark with Campus News. More than $145 million in gross revenue has been generated by startup companies, founded by alumni of UNL's Angler Agribusiness Entrepreneurship Program, since the program began in 2010. With over 230 Engler Program alumni growing businesses across Nebraska, the Engler Program is making a big impact on the lives of students, alumni, and Nebraskans.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Husker fans, you've got the opportunity to be a part of the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium by purchasing a Through These Gates mini plan. It's a 3-game ticket package that's being offered now. Through These Gates is priced at $100. It celebrates a century of football at Memorial Stadium. You get a ticket to the 2 non-conference home games, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech, and then you pick one of the Big Ten home games, Michigan, Northwestern, Purdue, Maryland, or Iowa. You pick the 3rd game out of that. Locations are in the north and south end zones. So again, $100, pretty good little deal. $33 really per game for that. Playing 2 of the games, you're locked into September where the weather's usually much, much better. So Through These Gates mini plan, jump on that. Several thousand of those have already been sold. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. It's a Monday night, Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network, 402-413-2400. Text coming in. Hey, Sports Nightly, glad to be listening. My question is about the pictures that the recruits take with the giant red boombox. Jessica, what's the deal with the boombox?
I actually don't know. I don't know. I think it had something. Didn't it have something to do with Dylan Raiola? No?
Wouldn't think so. I don't know.
I have no idea.
You've got contacts. You're going to have to figure out what that boombox is.
I'll see if I can.
They've got that great big kind of king's chair, right, that they sit in that. And do they put like a cloak around them? I mean, they got all kinds of props that they do for this thing.
I'll try to shoot a text.
All right. We'll effort an answer for you on the
I'm sure it's
boombox.
out there. I don't know. I haven't asked. I've seen it floating around offices upstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, it was in a couple of offices, but I know I've seen it.
Okay.
But I don't know why it became a thing.
All right. We will try to get you a definitive answer on that particular question. Busy month again for recruiting, and this is a great chance. One thing the NCAA got right is allowing juniors to take some official visits this time of year. They're not in school. They can go with their families. They can spend some time. Lincoln's awesome this time of year. I'd rather have kids come right now. Obviously, love to have them on a game day. But you come here in November or December after the season's over. It's cold. It's wintry. It's gorgeous out right now. They had the stadium all lit up over the weekend for that. They'll do that the next couple weekends as well. They're down in Texas. Boy, they're making a push, Jessica, to really get involved in the state of Texas. And why not? They have so many contacts down there.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big part of how he was able to turn things around with Baylor. I mean, I forgot the exact numbers, but I did the deep dive right when he got hired, and it was over 85% of his roster was from the state of Texas. And there's just so much talent. We've heard Susan Elza come on this show and talk about how much of the untapped talent there is, like a guy like Bryce Turner, who wasn't being recruited for football. He was a track guy. But yet, Evan Cooper sees his film, says, yeah, I think we got a spot for him. And so there's a lot of guys like that maybe play other sports, that take on football late, that maybe are superstars. I mean, I think Isabel Smith-Flores or one of those players was a basketball player until late. And so sometimes that really stunts the recruiting process if you take on late. But guys, this coaching staff is not about that. They can see some talent and they like to mold players. They like to develop them. And I think there's a lot of that in Texas. There's so many schools. There's so many towns. There's so many. Everybody plays high school football. And there's just so much of that. It's hard to be able for everybody to get seen. And so I think that's where those relationships with those Texas high school coaches are just so instrumental, and have been the ones that slip through the cracks. Coach Rule is able to lock in on and bring those guys in.
Well, some of those big programs down there can take their pick, and like you said, it's just a numbers game. There's so many numbers.
There's so many. That's it. Everybody plays high school football.
Right.
And they play it at a high level. A lot of these schools do. I mean, gosh, I don't even know how many there are. I would be interested. I'll Google that, how many high schools there are. And it's just such a big part of what Texas does. And there's just so many players that, and a lot of times maybe you're sitting behind somebody for so long that maybe you don't get your chance to get out on the field till you're a senior. But yet you have the talent. And so, yeah, there's just so much of it down there.
That's why the staff's spending some of their satellite camp time down in that state. They're just trying to keep those relationships that they've built strong and maybe add to them by hitting Waco today and their Houston tonight, and then a camp down in Houston tomorrow as well. Folks, buckle up. Put the phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, 402-413-2400. Fire off text or a phone call. We're back to wrap up Hour 1 next.
Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football Through These Gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of one home Big Ten game. 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Step up to the plate and hit a home run with your next vehicle at Woodhouse. We've got all the bases covered, from our family-friendly SUVs to our durable trucks to haul your gear. Plus, our team will treat you like an MVP and help find the vehicle that's right for you. Visit one of our 20 locations to score big on your next purchase, or shop our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles online at woodhouse.com today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
Dad, the TV's out. Internet, too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. 402-413-2400. Carl on our text line said, good evening. Welcome back, Jessica. Hope you had a relaxing time away.
I was teaching swim lessons, so I wouldn't call it relaxing, but it was.
You're in a pool.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But
That's
it was
relaxing.
fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Carla disputes Greg saying he felt the show was derailing one evening over choices of flavors of food product. Those are highly exaggerated. I'm sure Andrew was to blame, even though he's been gone for weeks. Question, are either of you surprised by this weekend's results of NCAA baseball tournament? Indiana's still the only Big Ten team, by the way. They're now trailing 3-2 to Kentucky. The upsets have surprised me a little bit. The number of them. You had so many regional hosts. You mentioned the Cowboys at Oklahoma State got beat, but Auburn lost their home regional. I didn't think Auburn should have been a host. I got into that rant last weekend. Vanderbilt losing was a surprise.
Oh, imagine
Clemson
that. A rant about an SEC team getting to host.
Well, their AD was the chair of the committee. So let's make us a host, even though we're 3 games over 500 on the season. So really, that broke my heart that they dropped. But I'm really happy, Carl. I love the diversity of the makeup of the field. I mean, Indiana State getting to host for the first time, and they win. They're going to host TCU next week. That'll be off the charts. I think it's great. Southern Miss winning. I love the Penn story. Kind of hope that had lasted, but Southern Miss knocked them out today. I like tournaments where there's a little bit of chaos and some new names in there.
I do too. I really do too, and it makes it fun. Baseball is one of those sports that, you talk about Power Fives, but if you get some teams that get a couple good pitchers, starting pitchers, or they can compete. It's not like you're completely outmatched if you're a non-Power 5 school in baseball. It's one of those sports that there's a lot of parity, and those non-Power 5 teams can really compete.
Well, Coastal Carolina's on right now. They're losing, but they won the whole thing a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You had Fresno State won it like 12 years ago. Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald tweeted out, with Arkansas losing, the CWS will have one repeat qualifier. One team that was here last June going to be here this year.
Wow, that's exciting.
How about that for turnover? And it's going to be either Texas A&M, or Stanford. Those are 3 that are left. A&M and Stanford play an elimination game later tonight. So only one could get here. And that could end next week in the Super. So you might have a completely 8 different teams. That's not really the case in Oklahoma City. There's a lot of repeat teams that get down there.
Yeah, OU and Tennessee have played in the championship series before, if that's the case. And Florida State's been there and won it recently as well.
Yeah. All right, quick hour. Good first hour. We've got hour number 2 coming back. We're going to continue Jessica's Title IX features, and it's with a former Husker track great. Thought that was very appropriate with the NCAA championship starting in a couple days down in Austin, Texas. We'll have that and more coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of June 2022. Duteau Subaru in Lincoln and DuteauSubaru.com.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Good evening, I'm Cole Hartman, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. On Friday morning, Nebraska basketball held a press conference featuring Fred Hoiberg and Keisei Tominaga in light of his return for the 2023 season. Tominaga briefly spoke on what factors helped guide him back to Lincoln.
So I was thinking what's the best what's the how can I say what's the place to be I can get improve most, and this is a place I can get improve a lot. So that's the most reason I think I decided to come back here.
After great anticipation, the university announced today that country singer Scotty McCreery will be the artist to perform at the August 30th Volleyball Day in Nebraska event in Memorial Stadium. Also this morning, it was announced that former Husker head coach Frank Solich has earned a spot on the 2024 ballot for the induction into the College Football Hall of Fame. Over the span of 22 seasons as head coach of the Cornhuskers, Coach Solich held a record of 173 and 101, including a 58-19 record in a 6-year span between 1998 and 2003. This will be the second consecutive year for Coach Solich to receive a spot on the Hall of Fame ballot. The Women's College World Series moves forward today with only a few teams remaining. Number 1 Oklahoma managed to outlast 9th-ranked Stanford 4-2 in 9 innings, which advances the Sooners to the championship series on June 7th. They will await the winner between 3-seed Florida State and 4-seed Tennessee, where the Seminoles have a 2-1 lead in the third. If Tennessee does end up winning that game, the two will face off again at 8:30 tonight. The NCAA Regionals for baseball wraps up today. 13 teams have already punched a Super Regionals ticket, with 3 more teams to be determined soon. Currently in action, 10th-ranked Coastal Carolina trails Duke 7-0 in the 6th. 12th-ranked Kentucky leads the Indiana Hoosiers 4-2 in the 7th. And later tonight, 8th-ranked Stanford will battle Texas A&M at 8 p.m. And finally, the Florida Panthers and Las Vegas Golden Knights take the ice for Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The puck is just about to drop, and Vegas looks to add to their 1-0 series lead. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
3 eligible to the near side. Back to throw is Morgan. Stepping up, gets hit, dropped. Oh, he got drilled at the 18-yard line. Ty Robinson's second sack of the year. I think he took his shoes off with that hit. Simon gets the shotgun snap. Huskers send a corner blitz. Simon steps, throws. Pass intercepted. Picked off by Miles Farmer. Go, baby. The 35 to the 30. Rook tied down to the 27-yard line. Miles Farmer's 4th career INT.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Scotty McCreery, huh? I like him.
Yeah.
He's had a couple number 1 hits.
I kind of remember him back on American Idol a little bit.
That's right. Did he win it?
I think he was the winner.
Did he win it?
Yeah. And I think he tried out with, he's got a real deep voice. I do remember this, is like, baby, lock the door. He's got a real deep voice. He knows that, whatever that song is, it was really big at the time. He sang that one for his audition song.
I loved his hit, Damn Straight. It came out a few years ago, kind of a playoff.
On George Strait.
Loved that song. That was a number 1 hit for him. So he will be the artist that will play after the volleyball matches on August the 30th. That's kind of been a hidden secret for a while, but it came out today. Cole just mentioned it in the ticker. And that's going to be tough. I mean, you're going to have a stadium full of people to watch volleyball matches, and then you got to convert it over to a quick concert, and that'll be interesting. But he'll do a great job. He'll do really well.
I think 2 things. I know people were asking a lot and wanted to know who it was, but the fact that we didn't announce who it was. I don't know, there was something about announcing that the record, because the NCAA would say, oh, well, they bought tickets for the concert, but because we didn't announce the artist, you can claim that, oh, these people the tickets were bought for the volleyball match and not for the artist. And, for anyone that thought it was going to be maybe like a Garth Brooks type artist, you got to think like working around all the logistics of having 3 volleyball matches, the court in the middle. You got to bring in a certain stage. A lot of these artists want their own kind of all set up, and it's going to be, you're talking about working with trying to figure out how to put a volleyball court in the middle of a football stadium and managing a stage and all of that. So you had to have someone that could work with all of the other things that are going on that whole entire day.
Going to be a wild scene here at the end of August. Still a few tickets on sale. They put those on sale last week. I think there's still a few of those that are left for that. Husker volleyball currently in Brazil. They've played 3 matches. They haven't even come close to losing a set yet. I do think they've got a couple of better teams that they're going to face in the coming time. They're down there a really long time. I mean, I don't think they come back to like the 15th of June, so it's a long, long trip for them. That's a long time to be in a different country. I mean, we were in Ireland basically 5 days. And not that I was totally ready to come home, but I kind of was. But
yeah.
15, 16 days, a long trip.
I think soccer, who I'll be talking to coming up tomorrow, they were like 10 days, I think.
Iceland, that looked gorgeous.
Yeah, they look like they had a lot of fun around their soccer matches.
So we're gonna have a couple of them on tomorrow night.
Yep.
Very good.
They will be here tomorrow.
Looking forward to that. They have a chance to be pretty good. They got most of that team back.
Everybody back. Everybody back.
Is our favorite goalie back?
Sammy is back.
Yeah.
I also was doing a little research. Did you know 15 of their 29 players are from the state of Nebraska?
That would seem about right.
They got, I mean.
A lot. Soccer's so big in Omaha, Lincoln and Omaha. There's a lot of really good clubs.
Which, again, going back to that conversation we had about the high school talent, the girls' high school talent in this state for all sports.
Pretty impressive.
It's some states you go to, they might be dominant, and like California is really, really good in softball, right? And they recruit all over. They get recruited all over the nation in softball and basketball. But I mean, for you think about all the different players that are playing different sports. Softball, you got one of the biggest stars playing in the Women's College World Series from Papillion and Jordy Ball, and the volleyball and the basketball, the players that are playing here. I mean, it's really, really impressive for how small, which we were just talking about during the break, brought up about recruiting Texas high schools. And I looked this up, 3,240 high schools in Texas, Nebraska 368. And you think about 368 high schools and then the amount of kids, girls and females that are playing Division I sports, really, really impressive.
Well, we've said per capita, Nebraska's got to be near the top on the female side for producing Division I athletes.
I would have to agree. I mean, I don't know how you argue against it.
So we'll keep track of the volleyball team. I know that they've been video streaming. Those have been pretty popular when they've played some of those teams down in Brazil, and I think the next one might be tomorrow, but we'll keep track of that. And then can't wait for them to get back into town. Their schedule, somebody texted or maybe it was in the chat room, wanted to know, we think their volleyball schedule will be out in the next 10 days. It's about time. They play in 3 months. We ought to be seeing their schedule pretty quick. So I would look for that by the middle of June when their schedule will come out. But looking forward to Scotty McCreary coming into Lincoln. I think he opened for Brooks and Dunn in Omaha this last weekend or something like that. And then Nebraska has had a group of athletes that went on a mission trip to Panama. They just got back, and I know you're working on trying to talk to some of the athletes that made that venture. What a cool experience for them.
Part of the life skills program here.
It's fantastic.
So, hopefully get all the details on that. I'm not sure everything that was done, but I know that was something that was in the works. And again, just such a big part of what's provided here. I mean, we're going to hear from one of the most impressive student athletes that have come through here. I mean, Amy Williams is talking about winning NCAA Woman of the Year and how big that is to promote. I mean, that's not just academics, that's not just athletics, that is the whole package. And she was really big, Angela, on what she did, her service, her community service, and that life skills department is just, there's not a lot of colleges that provide that. And I know it's really important to a lot of our student athletes.
So we're going to be trying to talk to some of those folks that just got back from Panama. Jessica's tomorrow night's got a program. We're going to talk to a couple of soccer players who just got back from Iceland on their foreign trip. The volleyball team in Brazil. Both the men's and women's basketball teams later this summer are headed to Europe. So this is kind of the travel summer for Husker sports. All right, last week while you were gone, the bowl games came out. The bowl schedule came out for the end of the college football season, and one of the bowls got a new nickname. It's the one in Orlando that pits a Big 12 team against an ACC team. It had been the Cheez-It Bowl. The Cheez-It Bowl is moving to the old Citrus Bowl, so that name became available, the sponsorship, and it's going to be now the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Pop-Tart Bowl.
I had some fun with that. You apparently are, like Cole, a very big Pop-Tart fan.
I am a big Pop-Tart fan. They actually, in the vending machine upstairs, they have Pop-Tart options, and a lot of times that's what I'll go to. I like Pop-Tarts. It was a big part of my family growing up. My favorite flavor is the s'mores flavor.
Okay.
So
Cole apparently is a cinnamon.
Yeah, that's right.
Cinnamon flavor
Jessica,
for
do you eat yours cold or warm?
I like both.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really, really good when they're warm, but I can totally vibe with them when they're not heated as well. Are you a toaster strudel guy?
Yeah, those are fine. And I've had Pop-Tarts on occasion. I just didn't realize that the popularity level of Pop-Tarts. I didn't think they were that big a deal. But apparently I'm in the minority in this thing.
I think you are. I think Pop-Tarts are pretty
The chat
solid.
room is also wanting to know who they would really like to meet and sit down with. And you and I, they're kind of tired of us because they see us all the time. But John Bader and Jeremiah Searles are popping up big in that discussion.
How rude that they're not saying us.
Well, they are, but they're like, well, we do see them every night.
I mean, come on. I understand. Searles, I get it. I have to do the podcast with him. I mean, I understand why he's a favorite.
That he is. All right. So there's the fun. 402-413-2400. When we come back, another installment of Jessica's Title IX feature as we wrap up year 50 since that Title IX legislation went into effect. We'll have that for you coming up next.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Ann Gallagher with Campus News. The only designated R1 research university in Nebraska, UNL's innovations power economic growth, precision ag production, tech breakthroughs, and future leaders in Nebraska. With the highest graduation rates and highest median earnings for recent grads of any public university in Nebraska, UNL is doing big things for our state.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that. which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Woodhouse is your premier luxury car dealer with exclusive Omaha Metro dealerships and 7 top brands to choose from, where craftsmanship, performance, and stunning design are at the forefront. Your next luxury vehicle will immerse you in an environment unlike any other. Plus, get your buying experience to match the premium quality of your vehicle with available nationwide driveway delivery, and our knowledgeable sales teams will exceed every expectation. Browse our selection of new and pre-owned luxury and performance vehicles online at woodhouse.com.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. 402-413-2400. Dennis on our text line. Jessica, on your Pop-Tarts, plain, no frosting. After it's hot, put a little butter on it, or strawberry, still butter, or blueberry.
I have heard butter on the hot ones.
Cole, you going to weigh in on this?
No comment. Not on this.
I don't know that I'd put butter on them. But, well, hey, a little butter on it, pretty much everything's okay, I guess. So.
And probably peanut butter would maybe be good on a few of those. I like peanut butter on everything, though. I would not be alive today without peanut butter.
Well, Crypto says they make a PB&J Pop-Tart.
Maybe I should try them. I probably would like it.
Oh,
I like the Crustables or Uncrustables, whatever they're called, that they give out on the plane.
They do. Those aren't bad. Those actually aren't bad.
I like them.
Those are not bad. Folks, time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, for the last 9-10 months, Jessica's been doing a series of reports commemorating the 50th anniversary of Title IX. And Angie Mercurio, who was an NCAA Women of the Year, great track athlete in Nebraska a couple of years ago, she was the focal point of a sit-down that you had. This was a while back when you sat down with her.
It was back in football season, actually, and she had come back. I'm not sure if they had a reunion, but she's in medical school right now. I mean, you talk about an impressive young woman. I mean, just the thing she's even doing after her athletic career, but was a part of the track and field team, a triple jumper, was All-American, Big Ten champion, but was beyond that, as mentioned, the NCAA All-American Athlete of the Year, which is just such a huge honor. I mean, it is just unbelievable to be awarded that honor. So I had a chance to chat with her. It was a part of the Title IX documentary that they did back on National Girls and Women in Sports Day. So it started off, she's from Canada. How she ended up at Nebraska from Canada.
Yeah, so it's a funny story because in the process of kind of interacting with coaches and things like that, and kind of the coaches reaching out to me, I remember getting an email from the University of Nebraska and having to, so where I'm from in Canada, let me just preface this, we don't learn about American geography. So I remember getting the email and me and my mom having to go on Google and look up Nebraska because I had never heard the word Nebraska. So we looked it up, and it turned out like Priscilla Lope-Schleep, she is a former Canadian hurdler, and I was like, oh, I know her, she went to Nebraska. So then that kind of got the wheels turning, and I was like, okay, let me give Nebraska a chance, let me go check it out. And as soon as I came here, I was like, this is unlike any other program.
What was it about that, about coming when you got here and that sold you?
I think it was, there was many different aspects, but I think like you could tell almost immediately how much the school cares about its student athletes. You can tell from the athletes themselves, but also from the facilities that you have, the resources that you have access to. It was very clear. I think I really liked the track team. I liked that the head coach was also a jumps coach, which is very rare to find across the country. And I really liked Lincoln. I liked that it was like the city was, it's like a college town, but it has also like a little bit more to it. Like it is like a bigger city as far as college towns go. So I think all of these things kind of drew me in, and then of course when I came here they proved themselves to be true. So
from the moment you stepped on campus, I mean, you started competing as an athlete, but then you were also excelling in the classroom too. Was that a goal immediately when you got here, is that you wanted to exceed or excel in the classroom in addition to what you did as an athlete?
I think I always liked school, like even from like I always enjoyed school. I never was the kid who didn't want to go to school. So I think that was just a natural thing where I enjoyed learning and I enjoyed doing well in school as well as doing well on the track. I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, but I knew I liked science, so I ended up studying biochemistry. And I think it was just, it wasn't really like I had a clear next goal. It was just like, I like learning, I enjoy doing well in school, I'm gonna work hard in school. It wasn't really like a formulated plan. I was just kind of going through the motions of, I like this, I'm gonna try to do well at it.
So when did you decide you wanted to go into the medical field?
I wish I had a nice, like, clear story, like, this happened to me and I knew I was gonna be a doctor, but I think it was a gradual process of kind of how I was saying before. I really enjoyed, like, the sciences, I enjoyed learning, and I think it was, like, getting more exposure to how I could apply that in different ways. There was a point I wanted to, like, get a PhD and do, like, research, but then I tried the, like, basic science research side and I didn't really enjoy that. And then I started, like, volunteering at clinics and like working with some doctors, and I thought like, oh, I actually really do like this, and kind of got more engaged into it as time went on. I think there was an aspect of my own kind of experiences with doctors that played a role into it. Like when I first got to Nebraska, I had knee surgery for kind of this rare condition I had in my knee, and I think seeing how that doctor helped me and like allowed me to get back to my sport, like allowed me to even like have the rest of the future that I had, I think was formative for me. But it wasn't like I woke up and was like, I need to do that. But all of these kind of experiences started playing together, and I kind of connected them back to like my original like love for science, and it just kind of stuck. And I was like, I think this is what I need to do. I think I should pursue medicine, and ended up doing that.
That's awesome. Take me back to when you won the Big Ten title. Through the whole process and how it all came together for you to win that day.
It was a long journey. It was my fifth year, my fourth indoor season, but my fifth year here, and my last Big Ten track meet. I had been like second and third. I had missed the podium. I had been various other places on the podium, and it was probably like the best moment. People ask me like what was like the proudest moments for you, and I honestly think winning Big Ten was like the proudest moment for me, because it's something I had worked for 4 or 5 years, and for it to happen at the last possible moment it could happen, it's like better late than never. It felt like I really owed my coach that win, because he had given so much for me. It felt like I owed the university that win for like everything it had given me as well. So it was a very wonderful moment. I literally fell to the ground. There's a picture of me somewhere, like laying on the track, just like, thankfully. So yeah, it was a great moment.
You know, Nebraska track and field has a pretty rich history for women's track and field, even going back to like when they won their first national title. And I know you didn't know much about Nebraska, but once you got here and learned a little bit about it, how much did it mean to you to be submitted there in history with that Big Ten title?
Yeah, I think the Nebraska track and field history and like the kind of Coach Gary Pepin's legacy is just amazing. Like Merlene Audie, some of the like original track women's national championships were from Nebraska. And I think like as soon as you walk into the indoor track, you see everyone's banner, you see how decorated it is, and it's just like you immediately know like you're part of something that is really legendary, honestly. And I think something else about that, like maybe even on a smaller scale, was that we would always have like top lists of all of our kind of metrics in practice, And so even if you weren't like winning Big Tens necessarily, you were always trying to like be top 10 and like furthest you can hop, or furthest like distance you get in like 40 hops, or some weird metrics like that. But we had all of these top lists, so every couple weeks at practice you were trying to like see how you compared with like the greats over the past decades. And I think that was something really cool that kind of always reminded you like these people have been doing this like same stuff for years and years, like this is proven to be successful, and like you're here like among these kind of just great women of the past that have trained in, maybe not on the exact same track, but trained in this exact environment, trained with this coach. So yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Okay, so when you get the news that you're going to be the NCAA Woman of the Year, there's only 2 Husker women that have ever done that. The other one was like 1996. What was that? What was it like getting that news?
It was very dramatic. So it started out with like, first you find out Nebraska nominated you, then you find out the Big Ten chose you as like one of the 2 Big Ten women, then you find out you're in the top, I don't even know, top 30. You find out you're in the top 30. And then they say, oh, you're in the top 30, you want to come to Indianapolis for like the ceremony. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Then before the ceremony, you find out you're in the top 9 because they want you to like film some extra stuff for them. So then I was like, oh, I'm in the top 9, like that's so cool. Like, wow, this is gonna be fun. But then you get to Indianapolis and you're around these 30 amazing women who have like done such amazing things, and you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm in this room with them. But you're not thinking that you're gonna win because like they're Olympians and they've like started nonprofits and they've just done like amazing things. I was just in awe at everybody. So then you get to the ceremony and they just call your name and you're like, oh, okay, I guess. I guess it was me. But yeah, so there's definitely a big build-up, and the only reaction I can say at first is just like, I was purely shocked because they had asked us they told the top 9 to prepare like our acceptance speech, and I was like, I'm not preparing anything. Like, that's cute, I'm not preparing anything. So I kind of just went up there and said what was on my heart, but definitely complete shock and complete gratitude to be there.
What went into that? I mean, again, I asked you about balancing both, but what drove you to attack everything, not just being a student athlete? Because a lot of times athletes do just focus on their sport. What drove you to excel in other areas, not just on the track?
That's a great question. I think there was an element of it where I wanted to have an impact on the community. Like I wanted to like have an impact here and on my team, but I also was like, I live in Lincoln. At the time, I knew I was be here for at least 4 years, maybe 5 years, and I was really interested in like, how can I integrate myself into a community? And of course, we have Husker Life Skills, and we do a lot of volunteering with them, which I think was like a very good catapult for me, because coming from high school, I had never really done volunteering in my community. I'd never really like thought about that, and I think I started going to some life skills events, seeing how we had such an impact on kids in the community, seeing how like people really admired us, and I was like, oh, well, this is fun, like what else can I do? And I would literally get on Google and be like, I don't even know what I would Google, but like science volunteering opportunities or something. That was probably one of the things I Googled, and I found the YWCA of Lincoln had this like STEM program for middle school girls in the area, and they were looking for like more volunteers. So I reached out to them, and it turned out like they needed someone to help like make the whole curriculum. So I got the chance to do that, which was like very awesome, very fun. I got to work with kids in the community doing that. When it came to like the medical side of things, I was looking up how can I like mix this new desire I have to get involved in the community with like my new interest in medicine, and there was a free clinic kind of down the street from here that I volunteered with. So I think it was really just like being curious and wanting to expand beyond like being a student athlete. Like I wanted to like feel what it was like to like be here and like be a part of something even bigger. So I think that's kind of what drove me, but there wasn't really like I didn't necessarily have like a end, like I wasn't like really checking boxes to like get something accomplished. I was just like, how can I get involved in the community and what are ways I can do that? But I think here, it really goes back to like all of the resources you have are here. And I think like academically, you have all the support you can need. I think with the life skills, like I mentioned before, that was really the catalyst for me to get involved in the community. And without that, I wouldn't have like found that confidence within myself to go out and find my own opportunities. I think we also have great communities here. I think people come from all over the world, definitely all over the country, but a lot of international students. I think it creates like a very diverse kind of network of people that bring so much different things to the table. And I think for me that was really important, especially because like where I came from was very similarly very diverse, and I felt like I was able to find that same pocket within the athletic department here. I had every resource I could have asked for to succeed here. Everything here is set up for you to succeed. If you take advantage of the resources that are here, you will succeed.
What does it mean to you now, too, that being a Husker and you see the support that fans give, you know, sell out with the volleyball team and the women's basketball team? And we were talking to Karina yesterday about how the soccer stadium was packed for the Big 12 tournament. Just the fact that like women's sports are supported here in Lincoln.
That is a huge thing, because I really don't, this is one thing I probably could comment on. I don't think you see that anywhere else in the country, because you don't see it really at the professional level. You don't see it. It's something that should happen. I think Nebraska could be an example to literally the whole nation on like how to support women's sports, because volleyball games, I remember having to stand at volleyball games because like you couldn't get a seat there. It was packed. It was sold out. We had people at our track meets, like, yeah, it's really amazing. And I think like being a female student athlete here, like especially on like a women's soccer team, women's volleyball team, and knowing you have that fan support, that is, that goes a really long way, because it shows like not only am I invested in this, but like this community is backing me. Like, you know there's going to be like a little girl in the stands that is watching you and wants to do what you do one day. Like that just gives you a whole other perspective on how you approach your sport. And I think that's so important.
She was just so impressive to talk to. I mean, man, all the things that she was able to do and is going to continue to do. I mean, you want to talk about someone that's going to make a really big impact on the world. And that spotlight on Title IX was brought to you by Bank of the West. Women-owned businesses are vital to a thriving culture of entrepreneurship, innovation, and responsible contribution to the community and the planet. Bank of the West is proud to provide resources, training, and solutions to help you achieve your goals. Learn more at bankofthewest.com, member FDIC.
You can see why she was selected NCAA Women of the Year. I mean, she just is so impressive. Spend 5 minutes with her.
Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. And she just did that last minute. We just said, hey, you're here. Will you do a sit-down interview with us? But it's kind of like what I was saying before. I mean, there are a lot of athletes that are really good at sports and really good at academics, are really good at sports and give back to the community. But it is so hard to manage being, and not only that, she's pre-med. She had all these hard classes that she had to balance. You heard her talk about, I think it was part of that interview that it was a 30-minute interview, so I had to cut some of it down, but how coaches worked with her because some of her classes were a lot more demanding. And so she had to figure out different times to come work out and train and go to practice so that she could still get her academics done. But then she just made such a huge impact on the community while she was here. I mean, just all around. It is just, I don't know how you do. I don't know how someone like that does all that she did, but I mean, she did it and did it really big way, and will continue to make Nebraska proud.
Good to be able to call her a Husker. All right, another Husker student athlete is doing a lot to give back to a community, and that got recognized today on one of the popular daytime national shows. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. Back with more of the show, 402-413-2400. That's the number to call or fire off a text. We'll wrap up things next.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for $4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for $4, just $22, now through the end of June. Dine in or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan. Together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Step up to the plate and hit a home run with your next vehicle at Woodhouse. We've got all the bases covered, from our family-friendly SUVs to our durable trucks to haul your gear. Plus, our team will treat you like an MVP and help find the vehicle that's right for you. Visit one of our 20 locations to score big on your next purchase. Or shop our selection of new and pre-owned vehicles online at woodhouse.com today.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so hot. The air conditioner is out again. SOS, he screams and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan. Together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall and Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you on a Monday night. Hope you had a great weekend. Summertime is here, and a lot of people heading out, hitting the lakes on the summertime weekend, so love this time of year. 402-413-2400, the number to dial us up with a comment, a question, or fire off a text. Let's go to the phones. Husker Dan, you're up next. Good evening.
Well, how are you two doing? I haven't called in for a while. I've been on vacation and been busy, so I think it's about time.
I think so too. Same. I've been on vacation too, Dan.
I know. Hey, I don't know if I'm more excited about calling in or the rain we just got.
Boy, we needed that,
got
didn't
a
we?
shower. Oh, my goodness. We just got a half hour of rain and
good.
much needed here in West Point. Oh, my goodness.
Good deal.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is probably I'm going to go to Jessica on this. You know, I know she came from Oklahoma and did the announcing there and whatever, but Oklahoma softball, I know doing the College World Series softball thing, and, Oklahoma's always been an elite team, and I don't know what Rhonda Gravel's got to do to keep these girls home. I know we've got a couple girls from Omaha over there in the College World Series playing for these teams, and I just, one of my cousins that live in Omaha, they were on one of these elite camps or clubs or their traveling teams or what have you, and it's pretty grueling deal because you travel a lot and you're putting in it costs a lot of money and you do a lot of time with these teams and stuff, and I get it. You get really good and you get noticed, and I don't know what Rhonda's got to do to keep these girls in state, and what does Rhonda got to really do, Jessica?
Well, I mean, a lot of the players that are on this roster, I mean, Billy Andrews, Brooke Andrews, both from Nebraska. Courtney Wallace was from Nebraska. I mean, there were quite a few players on this roster this last year and the year before that were from the state of Nebraska. And I think it's kind of like Texas in football. California is such a hotbed for softball talent that everywhere in the country, I mean, you look at Oklahoma's roster, they've got one player from the state of Oklahoma. It's all from basically Texas and California. So everywhere is there's so much talent in California. You're always going to have probably California kids playing in any elite softball team because that's just kind of the hotbed for it. But yeah, I mean, Jordy Ball was committed here. I'm not sure if it was at OU that came in or what her decision was there, but and I have no idea what happened with the Washington pitcher. I was not here when that recruiting happened, but I think she's done a really good job, and I think they've got a couple of commitments from the state of Nebraska that are coming in, and it's going to be a balance, I think, and you're not going to probably keep everybody. It's just kind of how it is with every sport. You look at every football, basketball, women's basketball. I mean, not everybody stays, and that's for every sport, every home school. But if you can keep the majority of them, which I think that's also what this football staff is trying to do, you want to protect your home field. But I think this softball staff has done a really good job of that. They've got a lot of the elite talent that have come through. I mean, Billy Andrews is All-American.
Terrific.
So,
yeah.
I mean, and Brooke Andrews is one of the MVPs, great story. So I think they've done a pretty good job of keeping that home talent home.
Dan, you remember a couple years ago that Rhonda got put under an investigation and they found nothing was wrong, but there was a lot of, you probably remember that. I think it was 3 summers ago.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of when Jordy Ball, I think, slipped through the cracks. I think there was some worry where the program was headed at that point in time. So just bad luck there. But hey, Rhonda's a warrior. She's going to stay after it.
And I'm excited. I think this group is going to be really, really good next year. They got basically everybody back. They're going to look to fill a pitching hole. They got some great talent recruits coming in, top 50, like 3 of them, and I think 2 of them are from Nebraska of the 4, and a great pitcher coming in that's a freshman or a couple, and then I think they'll probably target the transfer portal. I'm excited. I think this program is going to be right there. They were right there. They beat a really good Wichita State team in the regional. They just were lacking, and they had a player that got hurt, their 3rd pitcher. It's just so hard to go through a season with 2 pitchers, and that's what they did basically the whole season. So I'm really excited. I think this program is going to really make some noise next year. I really do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dan, appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. Glad you're back from vacation. I want Dan's life. He's on vacation that much. I want that life. It'd be a cool little deal.
You're going on vacation soon enough, right?
Yeah, end of the month. I'm going to take a few days off. 51 straight wins for Oklahoma softball. That is really impressive. 51 straight.
That's so hard. I mean, that team is just so good. I mean, they're just loaded. I saw a stat going into the postseason that they had 2 players that their top two hitters, basically, if you remove them, they're Jada Coleman, Tiara Jennings, if you remove those averages from the overall team average, Oklahoma still would have a top 10 offense even without their two best hitters. It's just, they are just so good. And that's why Stanford eventually, because they probably have arguably, other than Jordy, I mean, up there in the conversation, best pitcher in the nation.
And she's from Kansas.
And yeah.
So there's another Midwest girl that's incredible.
And I mean, had they had maybe one more elite pitcher, it's just so hard. Oklahoma is just so elite hitting. I mean, Jordy Ball probably would be hitting for most teams that she'd be playing for. If she was playing for another team, she'd probably be in the lineup hitting. But that's just how good that Oklahoma's offense is. I mean, that's a bat you're not even in the lineup, that a lot of people would love to have in the lineup is, you're the best pitcher in the country.
And Florida State's up 3-1 on Tennessee. If that holds, it'll be the Seminoles and the Sooners in the championship series, which begins in a couple of days. Big Ten baseball is over. Kentucky bounces Indiana 4-2. So the Big Ten's not going to play in the Super Regionals on the baseball side. I mentioned that there's a Husker who has done some really good things. Malachi Coleman, the incoming wide receiver from Lincoln East, appeared today on a taped version of the Kelly Clarkson show. Malachi came up through the foster care system, and he is raising some money to go back and to help the foster care system. And so he went on Kelly Clarkson to tell his story. I think she made a significant monetary contribution to Malachi. He's an impressive young guy, and I think he's got a chance to play some football maybe pretty early here. I think he'll have a shot, I think, to play as a true freshman.
I thought what was so cool, unique to see is, and Coach Roll opened it up. Hey, anybody that wants to come on. And he was there almost every single practice in the spring.
He was.
There were very few times that I went out there that he wasn't out there.
Yeah.
He's just, he's chomping at the bit to get here and to get with this team. And he's been so bought in. His parents have been all about the staff. You could tell how much they love him. But, yeah, that Kelly Clarkson thing was really cool. And she donated $15,000 to his nonprofit that helps foster kids, that he came through the foster system. So I'm hoping to get to talk to him this week. There's some availability that we're going to get to have with the players, that they're going to go through like an internal media day. We did this last summer and got a lot of those guys there. So hopefully he's one of the guys we can get. If you have any suggestions of who you want to hear from, feel free to send it in. We'll see if we can get them.
Yeah. Patrick really liked your interview with Angela, and she is. Patrick, you're right. She's really impressive.
Yeah, really that was unbelievable. I love doing those interviews. There's just so many. I know, I'm still learning all the history, but so many impressive women that have done so many big things that have really helped change the narrative of sports. And as she said at one of her last sound bites is, we're seeing all this growth and all these records, and you're looking at the Women's College World Series, and there's still some places that still need to get on the bandwagon and to get with the hype train of women's sports. But she said a lot of places need to learn from Nebraska. It's not just about their softball program. It's about all the women's sports. And so there's so many incredible women that have really paved the way for that, to help make that happen, where there is so much support for all the sports here.
Need to work our final break in. We're back with our weekend winners. That's coming up next.
Husker fans, mark your calendar for Sunday morning, July 16th, to join the Nebraska football team in the race for a cure against pediatric brain cancer. It's the 11th annual Nebraska Football Road Race. This year, all runners start and finish on Tom Osborne Field in Memorial Stadium. The final 69 yards will recreate the iconic 2013 ESPY Play of the Year, when brain cancer patient Jack Hoffman scored a touchdown in the spring game. To register, go to huskers.com/road race. Sponsored by the Home Agency with support from the Lincoln Track Club. More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
For a delicious dinner on the go that will please the whole family, get Hai Chai at Hy-Vee. Right now, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22 during the month of June. Get 4 one-pint entrees, 2 pints of rice or lo mein, and 8 egg rolls or crab rangoon. That's right, get a Hy-Vee Chinese dinner for 4, just $22, now through the end of June. dine in, or carry out the crowd-pleasing, award-winning Hy-Vee Chinese today. Some restrictions may apply.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting student Grant Hansen with Campus News. As worldwide leaders in ag technology, UNL faculty and students innovate using emerging technologies to improve yields and nutrition, and designing wireless in-field networks increasing precision in agriculture. Plus, UNL is breaking ground on a $7.2 million feedlot innovation center near Meade. UNL is doing big things for the future of agriculture.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
I think farming picked me. I didn't pick farming. I'm not afraid to try something new. It's my farm, my family, and our future. My Channel Seedsman gets that. I get access to innovative products with personalized advice backed by data to maximize my yield potential. With Channel, I know I'll prosper for years to come.
Define your future at channel.com/future. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. Copyright 2022 Bayer Group. All rights reserved.
Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Oh, boy. Come to the time of the show for our weekend winners. What do you have?
I am going to go with golf. Rose Zhang in her debut on the LPGA. She's 13 days removed from winning an NCAA title.
First pro tournament, right?
In her debut, wins in a playoff, two-hole playoff. And the last woman to win as a pro in her debut was Beverly Hansen back in 1951.
Ooh.
So the first woman to win her debut. And then I almost went with Victor Hovland, who, after he wins yesterday, caddies for his buddy, his Oklahoma State. But I'm going to go with Rose Zhang.
Yeah, and it was a playoff. She had to go to a one-hole playoff and then
I think it was 2 holes, wasn't it, that she won in? Yeah.
I knew it went playoff.
Second playoff hole is when she won.
Good for her. What a couple weeks for her to be able to do that. All right, Mr. Hartman, what do you have?
Well, I think it was announced Thursday, so it's not technically, but they had a press conference Friday about it, so that's part of the weekend. Keisei returning to Husker Hoops. That's my winner.
That's a good one. Very solid. Really good choice. And Husker Nation buzzing about Keisei coming back for his senior campaign.
You're rolling with the chat. That's what the chat agrees with you, Cole.
Yeah, he's just trying to make friends.
He wants to be the one they want to meet.
That's exactly right. He's not getting his name shouted out enough on that thing. So you stole mine. I'm going Victor Hovland. I mean, not only did he win the Memorial yesterday in a playoff, but he caddied 36 holes today for his college buddy trying to make the U.S. Open. There was a U.S. Open qualifier in Columbus, Ohio, which is where the Memorial was. So he goes and he wins. Multi-million-dollar check yesterday. He's out there caddying, lugging a bag for his buddy today. That's unbelievable.
I really like Victor Hovland.
Oh,
he's
so
moving
cool.
up my favorites list.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That he did that. All right, that'll do tonight's show. Cole is cool, according to Crypto. So there you go, Cole. A nice little satisfaction for you on the end of the show. Hey, great show tonight. Come on, tomorrow night, we'll hear from some of those Husker soccer players back from Iceland. That's on my bucket list. Can't wait to hear that. And also Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com will join us. We'll talk about the SEC staying with 8 conference games for football moving forward. Yuck. Thanks to Cole. All of you, have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. Husker fans, the 2023 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support celebrating the 100th year of Memorial Stadium. Purchase a special Husker football Through These Gates mini plan. For only $100, you will be at the Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech games, plus your choice of 1 home Big Ten game. 3 games for only $100. Tickets available while supplies last. Purchase your Through These Gates mini plan today. For more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www